We begin this hour with closing arguments in the trial of the 3 white men accused of killing Ahmaud Arbery. There have been 2 weeks of testimony and 2 weeks filled with controversy in the trial of Ahmaud Arbery's murder. Jurors heard from more than 20 witnesses, including the gunman who shot and killed Arbery. The prosecution stood before the jury and called the McMichaels, father and son, unjustified aggressors, saying they can't create the situation and then claim self-defense. But the defense shot that claim down, giving a blistering description of Ahmaud, calling him a recurring intruder and aggressor.
Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
If you are the initial unjustified aggressor, you don't get to claim self-defense. If you're committing a felony against somebody, you don't get to claim self-defense. And the third one is if you provoke somebody so that they defend themselves against you, and then you go, oh, look, he attacked me first. But you really were the one who was provoking the attack on yourself. You don't get to claim self-defense. And that's the law.
The judge just had a pivotal conversation with attorneys moments ago.
Let's bring in BNC correspondent Dray Clark, who has been following this trial daily. And Dray, let's get into that conversation first.
Yeah, Kelly Nair, just a moment ago, Judge Walmsley addressed some concerns the attorneys raised about the presence of the Black Panthers being here gathered outside of the Glenn County Courthouse. There was concern that some of the jurors may have heard some of the noise that was happening outside the courthouse, and some have expressed concerns for their safety. So now the attorneys are going to meet and to talk about some measures they can take in place to give the jurors an added sense of comfort. One idea that's been proposed already is the idea of just allowing everyone to gather on the front side of the courthouse and not allow them to circle around, because the concern is eventually this jury will begin deliberation sometime tomorrow, and they do not want them to be distracted or intimidated by the activity that's happening inside. Judge Walmsley also noted in court that when he arrived this morning that he noticed some men standing outside the courthouse with long rifles, and that was also concerning to him as well. And so he is going to do whatever he thinks is necessary to ensure the safety of the jurors and the integrity of the deliberation process. And we should know more about that a little later on this evening. Meanwhile, let's talk about some of what we heard here today in court with the closing statements, beginning with Linda Denakowski, who is the lead prosecutor. You know, she told the jury today that Ahmaud Arbery was under attack on February 23rd, 2020, and it all started simply by him jogging down the street in Satilla Shores, and these 3 men, Gregory and Travis McMichael, along with William Bryan, making what she called driveway decisions. She said this: but for their actions, their decisions, their choices, Ahmaud Arbery would be alive today. She says they simply profiled him because he was a black man running down their block, and they chased him, and Travis McMichael, we know, shot and killed him with a 12-gauge shotgun. But the most blistering of those closes came from defense attorney Laura Hugh, who is representing Gregory McMichael. She said repeatedly that Ahmaud Arbery was an intruder, like a night stalker, that he caused concern and fear with families there in the Satilla Shores neighborhood, and he came back time and time again. That yes, he started out as a beautiful boy in a baseball cap, but he grew into a young man that had problems in his early 20s, and that's unfortunate. One person who was listening here outside the courthouse got very upset because she said it sounded like to her that Laura Hugh was blaming Ahmaud Arbery for his own death. But here is that soundbite that's going to get a lot of, let me pause for a second. Let me pause because attorney Ben Crump is talking right now. Let's go ahead and listen to what Ben Crump is saying. Then we'll come back.
He was the person who was killed running for his life. And they're saying that he is the person that is on trial here. Let it be clear. The people on trial are the McMichaels, the father and son, and Rowdy Bryant. But this isn't anything new to us. We know about 10 years ago, with Trayvon Martin, they assassinated his character after they assassinated him. It's the playbook. And so you all know what you saw in that video. It speaks for itself. You can see the truth with your own eyes. We pray that the jury sees the video without bias and that they will come to a just verdict for Miss Wanda's sake and for Marcus's sake. That's all they ask.
All right. I'm going to say one more thing before we go. There has been a community here designed to provide support for justice, but particularly as the defense attorneys have seemed to focus their attention on the gallery and on Miss Cooper Jones and Mr. Arbery. There's been a community of supporters here praying, supporting, offering words of encouragement, water. We appreciate those people. As we come near the end of the trial, those demonstrations have become somewhat more bombastic with props and marches and other things. We just ask the community of supporters as we near the end of the trial to try to do whatever you can to avoid interfering with the actual trial taking place inside of the courtroom. We appreciate the support. The community's presence here has been a great encouragement to the family, but we cannot allow anything to disrupt justice in this case. We'll take a question or two and then we're going to go.
Was there anything in particular today that really impacted you here in the defense? Yes. What will you share?
When I heard prosecutor, the Hogues, she described Ahmaud as his long legs and his dirty, long toenails. That was just beyond rude. Regardless of what kind of toenails he had, what size legs he had, that was still my son. And my son actually was running for his life in that description. I thought that was just flat out just rude.
Here, the way, it's just rough. The way they just try to characterize him like he was a victim, talking about how he didn't grow up in no poor family. He didn't grow up with nothing. So the way they try to characterize his name and try to make him look like that victim, it just really hurting to his mom and me, because we already know how he growed up. He growed up with everything he needed, so she can go on with that. We already know what she's doing. They got no defense ground, so she trying anything. They desperate. So we already know that. So all we want is justice. Yeah. Justice for Ahmaud.
Amen.
Yep.
Right,
And we're gonna try to keep this thing non-violent because that's what they want.
Yeah.
We can't get on their level. We want justice. We want to get justice the honest way. All right. God bless.
Thank you, John.
You know, just briefly, Attorney Merritt and Attorney Robinson and us, it was just very fascinating when you heard them try to justify the unjustifiable act. You would think Ahmaud was the only one who went and visited that home. They had dozens of other people who visited that home. Nobody chased them. Nobody said that they burglarized the home. Why is that? Because Ahmaud was black? Is that the justification that they say he burglarized the home? He went and observed just like all the other people. That's right. But yet they said it was a crime that Ahmaud committed and that this was justified to kill him. And that's the suggestion. That's the reasoning. And if that is to be accepted, then everybody who went in that home should be charged with burglary.
Come on.
If you take their reasoning, and worse, we should be dealing with multiple homicides. But that's not acceptable because we're better than this, America. We're better than this, America. We're better than what we saw, how they killed Wanda and Marcus's baby boy. We're better than this, America. Coming from Kenosha, Wisconsin, we need to see that we're better than this, America. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so that was Marcus Arbery Sr. along with Wanda Cooper Jones with their attorneys Lee Merritt and Ben Crump. And I want to go back to something that we were talking about before we went to that news conference. And that is defense attorney Laura Hogue, who's representing Gregory McMichael. And many people considered her words about Ahmaud Arbery inflammatory. The things she said, calling him an intruder. And then you just heard from Wanda Cooper Jones, Ahmaud Arbery's mother, how hurtful she believes Laura Hogue's words were, saying that her son had dirty, long toenails. But here is that soundbite. We were going to talk about this anyway, but you just heard it from Miss Wanda Cooper Jones. But let's go back in time so you can hear exactly what Laura Hogue said in reference to Ahmaud Arbery. Take a listen.
Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
All right,
And so that
again,
was the
Laura
statement that
Hogue
somebody-
here. Kelly, just pause.
Yeah, Dray, go ahead.
You pause for a second. Lee Merritt, who is Wanda Cooper Jones's attorney, is here with me. Lee, kind of step close because I don't have a handheld mic, but you can be picked up here on my microphone on my chest here. I want to go back to what you guys just talked about at that news conference. In particular, the comments made by Laura Hogue.
Yeah.
Clearly, Ahmaud's mother was very upset. Were you in the courtroom when she made those statements? And just what were you thinking when she said that?
Well, there's certain things that we expect from the defense counsel. You know, we expect them to find a way to criminalize Ahmaud. In order for them to justify the citizen's arrest, they have to make up some sort of defense. But these attacks are personal. They are low. Right now, they were talking. The only reason they had access to Ahmaud's feet is because his body was accessible in the morgue. And in the morgue, they felt like he didn't clean his toenails properly, and they brought it up during the closing. At this point, there should be complaints made to the bar. These attorneys are far outstepping the lines of professionalism.
We suspected that they would attack Ahmaud's character going into the trial. It seemed as if they reserved that until the conclusion of the trial. You guys have now been coming inside this courthouse for the last four and a half weeks. It would seem as if the defense knows they have a weak case, so much so that you mentioned last week Kevin Goff approached the prosecution about cutting a deal.
That's right. So Mr. Goff was hoping to turn state evidence and have his client testify against the other defendants, the McMichaels. However, the evidence against him is just as compelling against the defendants, and so the state, with Wanda Cooper Jones' consent, decided not to reject the plea deal. But yeah, everything that's coming from the defense table smacks of desperation at this point.
You spoke about the atmosphere outside the courthouse. Today, the Black Panthers showed up, long guns locked and loaded. There's concern about what the jury can see and hear. The judge even mentioned that he saw some things as he came into the courtroom this morning. How are you going to temper this atmosphere on the outside? Because the concern is the jury could be intimidated and the integrity of the deliberation process could be compromised?
Well, we all need to appreciate that this is by design. The defense counsel for Roddy Bryan, Mr. Goff, in fact, invited the Black Panthers here. I mean, personally invited the Black Panther Party. You saw during his closing, he tried one more desperate move, which he stated his actual address on record. And I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up in the morning to a motion that someone appeared at his home address, because he offered it on record. And so the agitation, the growing agitation that you see here, it comes from being provoked by statements being made by Mr. Goff. I am asking the community on behalf of the family of Ahmaud Arbery to temper themselves, to not be so easily baited. To the extent that they are here to support the family, to exercise their First Amendment rights, absolutely do that. But do not cross the line of attempting to influence the jury by chance, by threats, by things that could be seen as intimidation. We certainly want the public to stay away from anything that can be brought into that line of thinking.
Does anyone plan to talk to the Black Panthers directly?
I certainly will, actually, and I have spoken to the Black Panthers. I don't think the Black Panthers' presence in and of itself, you know, the Black Panther Party is a progressive self-defense organization. And when Mr. Goff is making statements about bringing more Bubbas up here, more 50-year-old white men, then certainly a self-protection militia group that is exercising their Second Amendment rights, ought to be allowed to exercise their rights like any other citizens. Again, and to the extent that their statements or actions appear or are designed to influence the jury, we're asking that people not engage in that kind of activity.
Lee Merritt, thank you. Lee Merritt, attorney for Wanda Cooper Jones. I know you've got a full day and you've got to still take care of Ms. Cooper Jones. Thanks a lot for your time and consideration. So there you have it. Lee Merritt just kind of giving us an update on where things stand. They will do, you heard him say, their due diligence in trying to temper the atmosphere outside the courthouse. But we should mention the Black Panthers really did nothing different than what the Black Pastors did last week. They were just as loud. They were just as active. This was just another attempt by Kevin Goff to somehow try and get a mistrial because the folks continue to gather out here in support of the Arbery family. Kelly, Naira.